Every Green Lantern in live action history. And the fandom treats many of these like Elon Musk treats his baby mamas. Forgettable. The first live action Green Lantern in history is Hal Jordan, played by Howard Murphy in Legends of the Superheroes, a 2-night NBC special that played in January 1978, complete with a laugh track and a set so cheap a single box fan would have made the entire Green Lantern Corps homeless. Hal stands around in spandex next to Adam West Batman, while Night 2 becomes a literal celebrity roast of the Justice League, before jokes meant cancellations and upsetting Reddit moderators. And this special gives us the first live-action Sinestro, played by Charlie Kalas, a real nightclub comedian. Casting him was braver than a feminist on CNN defending Lindsay Clancy. The next appearance of Green Lantern didn't happen until 1992, almost a decade later. The Funeral for Superman, hosted by Saturday Night Live, because who is better to host a funeral? This special followed the comic book event where Superman went down fighting. Standing in the crowd in full costume is Green Lantern, played by Tim Meadows. The sketch never gave him a name, but he's the first African American in a Green Lantern suit in live action. Congratulations to SNL for beating every movie studio by over 3 decades. The next appearance for Green Lantern would happen 5 years later in Justice League of America. This was CBS's attempt at a pilot episode for the Justice League. Unfortunately, it was so rough it never aired in the United States. Eventually, it escaped overseas and made it into convention bootlegs. Its Green Lantern is, oddly enough, Guy Gardner, played by Matthew Settle. But here's where it gets weird. If you've seen Superman or are familiar with Guy Gardner at all, you know he's more obnoxious than Ellen DeGeneres at a staff meeting. But this Guy Gardner is less like Abby Lee Miller and more like Keanu Reeves, a soft-spoken sweetheart. And the bigger crime? No bowl cut, no attitude, literally 0 attributes that make him Guy Gardner. That's like casting someone to play Hawk Tuah Girl and having that character win the spelling bee. Not happening. Most people forget about the next appearance of Green Lantern, which happened in 2010. A blink and you miss it cameo in Smallville, Absolute Justice. Alan Scott, the original 1940s Green Lantern, appears and is played by Doug Pinton in a flashback. IMDb credits him as Alan Scott, Green Lantern from the Golden Age, which is more dialogue than he gets in the actual episode. He created the entire franchise in 1940 and got the screen time of a Wendy's drive-thru order. The next appearance is in 2011 Green Lantern starring Ryan Reynolds, complete with a CGI mask and a CGI costume. Ryan has apologized for this movie more than Logan Paul has apologized for his life. But the movie actually does have a comic accurate Oa and a pretty accurate Green Lantern Corps. Mark Strong plays a fantastic Sinestro, and in a mid-credit scene, he puts on the yellow ring, setting up the sequel, which ended up dying like Batman's parents. Kilowog, the drill sergeant that calls everyone Poozer, is a CGI character played by Michael Clark Duncan. You may recognize him as Kingpin in Ben Affleck's Daredevil. We also see Tamar Ree, a fishbird professor, voiced by Jeffrey Rush. We also see Abin Sur, the dying purple Green Lantern who gives his ring to Hal Jordan. He's played by Tamira Morrison, the actor who plays Boba Fett, Jango Fett, and Aquaman's dad in the DCEU. He collected more franchises than Diddy collected baby oil. The Oa crowd scene is packed with Green Lanterns you may recognize from the comics. We see Salak Stel, Boudica, and about 24 others. Feel free to criticize my pronunciation of these characters in the comments. The next Green Lantern is a bit weird. John Diggle, played by David Ramsey, is Green Arrow's crime-fighting partner for close to a decade. And for years, fans screamed to the heavens he would make a great Arrowverse Green Lantern. Well, the studios listened, and in an Elseworlds crossover, Flash of Earth 90 asks John Diggle, "Why aren't you wearing the Green Lantern ring?" and confirms that in the DC multiverse exists a John Diggle Green Lantern. But in the main continuity, John Diggle is in fact chosen to be the next Green Lantern. A meteor falls next to his car containing a Green Lantern ring right before his move to Metropolis. However, 3 years pass and he chooses to keep it in a bedroom drawer, saying no to the opportunity. This is the biggest tease since your mom got ditched in Cancun. The next Green Lantern live action appearance is in Stargirl. The pilot shows the Justice Society of America getting massacred, including Alan Scott, played by an unidentified actor who goes down fighting. Then, season 2 introduces his daughter, Jenny Lynn Hayden, played by Issa Penarejo, who inherits the ring and the green flame and uses it on screen. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this iteration. Zack Snyder's Justice League had 2 Green Lanterns. The first Green Lantern got more screen time than any Green Lantern in DCEU history, Yalan Gur, a cool alien Green Lantern who comes to Earth to fight Darkseid and his invading army. He dies and his ring flies off to space, hoping to find someone just as worthy. As it flies away, Darkseid attempts to grab the ring, and you can only imagine how strong he would have became if he managed to wield that weapon. It also shows he understands the ring's true potential. The next Green Lantern in the film never actually made the final cut, but we do see a finished screen capture of Wayne T. Carr as John Stewart. What's notable about this scene is that it was filmed in Zack Snyder's backyard during the pandemic, which is interesting because in my opinion, this is the coolest looking live action Green Lantern up until this point. I've always argued that Zack Snyder's stories should continue in Elseworld productions, and I wouldn't mind seeing what he had planned for John Stewart. The next Green Lantern we see is in Superman, Guy Gardner, who is also scheduled to appear in Man of Tomorrow and Mr. Miracle. Guy Gardner is played by Nathan Fillion and is actually quite comic accurate. He has his signature bowl cut, his unique arrogance, and manages to be the leader of the Justice Gang, a name he's proud of despite not even impressing preschoolers. It's great to see the bowl cut, the attitude, and everything the 1998 pilot was afraid to adapt. When Howard Stern brought up Green Lantern to James Gunn, he argued that Green Lantern could conceivably beat Superman, a notion that James Gunn did not disagree with. He responded by saying they were in similar power scales, meaning it's the opposite of his haircut. No joke. You know if Guy Gardner didn't get that ring, he'd be the dad getting in fisticuffs over a parking spot at Chili's. Then we have Lanterns. Abin Sur is mentioned, who predated all of Earth's Green Lanterns. He crash landed on Earth and in his final moments transported Hal Jordan across the country to give him his ring. Once Hal Jordan became Green Lantern, he kept his identity secret for about a decade. Afterwards, he revealed his identity to the world on national television. Many years later, the Guardians assigned John Stewart as being Hal Jordan's successor. We learn from Hal Jordan's backup consciousness that a Green Lantern having a trainee is something that was never done, meaning this is a new tactic by their bosses. One final honorable mention is in the opening sequence to Blue Beetle, fighting the Scarab in space. No actor, no suit, just a green light and the director's confirmation. So there you have it, every Green Lantern in live action. Which version among these is your favorite? And are you excited to see how the DCU's Green Lanterns will play out? Let me know in the comments.